right, everyone. Welcome back to BitCast. Thank y'all for joining me on this fourth episode. It is kind of hard to believe it's the fourth episode, but honestly, now that we're getting later into February, it feels more right than it did last week when I was like, man, hard to believe it's already been three episodes. So, first of all, I now have a Windows PC. Yes, you heard it here. But I'm gonna hardly be using it. I got it from a family member who didn't need it anymore. And literally the only reason why I have it is just to transfer stuff from my Switch to its storage and also use it as a glorified hard drive. So, I'm still using my Mac. And speaking of Mac, I'm very mad at my Mac right now because I'm still having that annoying screen capture glitch. I got clean my Mac, it fixed it for like a few days. And once my free trial expired, now it's back. So that is infuriating, and I don't know. Honestly, it might just be a bug with macOS 26.3. So, Apple, I'm furious. Fix it. Then again, I don't know. It is very, very annoying. So, yeah, that's what's been happening. Honestly, Windows, I still hate it. I downloaded a few third party things to make it look different and other things, but again, I'm not going to be using it much. Mac is still where my heart is at, even with a little annoyance. So, yeah, anyways, let's just kick today's episode off with, you guessed it, the episode theme. Alrighty, for y'all audio listeners out there, today's episode theme is Apple March event / product drop announced or confirmed for March 4th, plus the My Mario for 1-year-olds and Virtual Boy are now out, and last but not least, what is Nintendo thinking right now? It's a conversation I want to have. So I don't feel like we have as many things to talk about today, but yeah. Also, there's a few other things we're going to talk about that wasn't all pushed into there. We have about 5 things we're going to talk about. So let's just jump today out the gate with this Apple event, as people are calling it. Let me restart the annoyance screen capture. Alright, here we go. So, I'm going to just say it right off the bat. This, at least to our current knowledge, is not an Apple event. And I'm going to say that because I cannot tell you how many people I have seen saying, Apple event confirmed for March 4th. Y'all, this is not a Apple event. It is not an Apple event. So basically what happened is, I don't know if it will show it in this document here. Anyways, basically what happened is that Apple sent out an email to some creators saying, hey, we're having a special Apple experience, which is basically a small gathering of creators to record impressions and things of new products. Kind of like the hands-on after an actual Apple event. And basically, Apple sent out this invite, and people shared it, and basically the internet / media is now blowing this up as Apple event on March 4th. It's not an Apple event. Because if you go to apple.com, if you go to apple.com, there is nothing about an Apple event. And also, if it was an event, they would not have called it a Apple experience. So this is not an event, sadly, because don't get me wrong, I actually wanted there to be an event, because I like it when Apple does that better than press releases, but no. This is going to be press releases, may not even be on March 4th, it might actually be a few days before, but around that time period. So I just wanted to get that right out the bat. And we may get some little videos, hopefully. But basically, this is just a experience so that way these new products Apple will announce around that time, creators can go experience it. So this is the logo on the invite. It is a bit lower resolution for some reason since I'm in the reader. If we go here, you can see a bit higher resolution. And this is what they showed in the invite. And you can see these like glassy pebbles in some blue, some green, some yellow. And this is actually kind of a hint at what we will be seeing. So we're going to go over what we will be seeing here. So it shows some things down here of some things that we could be seeing. Now, I just want to get you wrong. These are just rumored, and I sincerely doubt we will be seeing all these things. Because if Apple were, and oh my goodness, the screen capture. Okay. If Apple were to release all these things, they would have an event. Because that's way too many things. But the most likely things we'll be seeing is the new iPhone 17e, a new budget MacBook, and the new MacBook Pro with M5 Pro and Max chips. But and some people are saying Studio Display 2 and other things, but I think those are the most likely things. So for our iPhone 17e, it's basically going to be an iPhone 16e with the A19 chip from the iPhone 17, the new center stage camera, and MagSafe, along with a rumor of the dynamic island, but that's not confirmed. Overall, it's a minimal upgrade, but I actually think it's a genuinely good upgrade. I really wish they would lower the price, but I think adding a few of those things will make it more enticing. And coming up next, honestly, the most likely thing is going to be these new MacBook Pros because the base M5 version has been out since October last year. I really don't like how they did that. That was so mid. So we have been in need of seeing these new MacBook Pros. So basically, we're going to get the M5 Pro and M5 Max chips. They will be extremely powerful. I'll probably end up making a video and I'll be like, I was blown away because I probably will be. I am every time. But nothing new. The new redesigned MacBook Pros we are rumored to get will be coming later this year. And then I honestly think it's not as probable, but I honestly think it will happen. That is the new budget MacBook, or as some people have called it, the MacBook E. So basically, this MacBook is going to be a trimmed down MacBook Air that costs less. It will have rumored to be a A18 Pro chip, which you're probably like, that is not good. First of all, it's an iPhone chip, but that chip is very powerful, and the market this is targeted for is not going to need something ultra powerful. I do hope they use the A19 Pro chip. I don't know why they would use the A18, but I feel like that is an Apple thing to do, so sadly I think that will happen. Hopefully it will be the A19 Pro, but I doubt it. So it's going to be low cost, around $600 to $700. It'll have fun colors. It will have a probably 12-inch display. It'll be basic, but it will get those core essentials that are what people buy MacBooks for on a lower budget, and it'll still have Mac OS and all those other things. All I'm saying now is that Apple, they're putting Mac OS on an iPhone chip, but they won't let you have it on an iPad, which that's a whole argument for another day. I think that's where it should be at, but it's like kind of weird that they're doing that. That is what I'm most excited for out of all of this is seeing that. The iPhone 17e I actually think will be a better than the 16e. Of course it will be because it'll have better features, but I overall think it'll be a better release than the 16e. The MacBook Pro M5 and M5 Pro and M5 Max will be boring. It'll be like, these chips are amazing, they're ultra powerful, but and then the new MacBook will be so amazing. Lord willing, we get all of that. We may not get all of that, though. We may only get one product, but I kind of doubt it. We may get more than that. I don't know. But honestly, I really wish they just had a event to release all this. We are also expected to maybe get some new iPads, as you can see here. I'm not really sure if that will happen because that would be a lot all at once. I don't know. We will see. It will probably be a staggered release, so every like Monday you get the new iPhone, Tuesday the new MacBook, Wednesday the new iPad. But we're rumored to get a base model iPad with the A18 chip, which is not much, but the biggest push will be Apple Intelligence support, which will be good now that Siri 2.0 is Gemini powered, but finally on the way. And then an M4 iPad Air, literally the same iPad, just with an M4 chip. I have the M3 Air. It's good. Nothing much. If you have the M3 iPad Air, do not rush out to buy the M4 iPad Air unless you're a crazy person like all the content creators that will be doing it. I won't be doing it because I don't have that money right now. In fact, nothing on this list. I will be doing that. And as we look at this list, there's a ton of other things like an M5 MacBook Air. Great and likely refreshed color options. I don't know why they would do that since they just did that with the M4. I mean, they didn't refresh the whole lineup, but they added a new color, so I don't know. But hey, I don't know. I like the midnight, but it shows dust because I have the M3 MacBook Air and it shows dust. So, yeah. I won't be getting it, of course. I have my M3 Air, which yes, it is several chip gens old now, but it still performs well. And again, I just can't afford it. I'm honestly planning on not getting a new MacBook till college, so I have several years. So hopefully it can last long. And the screen capture stopped, but that's okay because we're not gonna be looking at my dusty screen. Well, you can't see the dust, but my screen is very dusty because there's dust all over and I can't get rid of it. So yeah. Then again, honestly, I really got to keep my audio listeners in mind because I'm showing all this stuff and they're like, huh. Anyways, before we move on, the reason why I think this new Mac will come is because of this logo. Now, keeping my audio listeners in mind, I'm going to give you an audio description. So, it is the Apple logo, but it's made out of these like thin glass sheets, not really, but pebble shaped sheets kind of going up. And at the bottom it has green, and then hang on a second for my video listeners, and then it shifts from blue to green to yellow, and these are some of the rumored colors for this new low budget MacBook, which would be really good. I cannot wait to see it if that's true. So that's why I think, plus usually I feel like they don't create these special logos just for something like that. So that's why I think we'll be seeing this new MacBook. So yeah, that is the major Apple news. Some technically Apple news, but just more of a confirmation. No, the new Siri is not found in at least the first beta of iOS 26.4. And like I said in the last podcast episode, I'm not surprised because, again, they have not had time to work on this. Do we actually want this to be good? Yeah, I want this to be good. So I want them to have time to work on it. Now, and yeah, I'm not going to get into that because we already covered that on the last podcast episode. So now it's time to get into the Nintendo news, or rather, the lack of Nintendo news. Now, in a perfect world, I would be recapping a chungus Nintendo Direct right now. It would have a new 3D Mario, and I'd be screaming like a 5-year-old. But nope. That rumor about a big General Direct in the third week of February is false. Now, then again, there is still some hope for March, but I kind of doubt it. And this has really made me disappointed, which we'll get to at the end. But in other terms, the virtual voice out for the online that you have to buy that $100 thing for. Yep, it's out now. I don't really care though. I'm not really appealed. I mean, I could play it, but I don't have the thing, and I don't feel like spending $100 when I don't have that much money. So, I mean, yeah, there you go. It's out. It looks interesting. I don't really care. So yeah, that's one piece of news. Okay. Okay, Nintendo. Wow, you're having your big news, whatever. In other news, sorry about that. In other news, My Mario is now out for the US. Now, if you do not know what that is, it is a product and software line. So there's some toys, like there's block toys, and there's stuffed animals, and there's little learning cards, and there's a little app. It is basically to introduce your younger children to Mario. So we're talking not 10 or like 8, but like toddler type of age. So basically, it's gonna be one of those toys they play with. And honestly, I love this idea. Mainly just because I want there to be more Nintendo fanboys in this world. But also because I think this is so good to introduce Mario and have it as that childhood character. But then have these big games when they grow up. I think it's just such a good idea. I downloaded the free app on my iPad. It's actually kind of fun, but there's not much to it. You basically can just pull Mario's face around. If you swish your hand around, there'll be like different things you can pop, and there's different buttons that will make different noises, or you can take a picture. Overall, it's really fun. Um, I don't think it's gonna entertain kids for that long though. Like, I don't think. I mean, I don't know. I forgot what it was like to be that young, so sadly. But yeah, there's also some sorts. I've seen a few of them. Overall, I feel like it's a very small product lineup. Like, I feel like they should expand it, which, I mean, it just came out in the US. It was in Japan for a good bit. But overall, I actually genuinely think that this is a very, very good idea to introduce your kids to a nice family friendly character that I think they will really, really love. Because, and then you're going to be hearing more people humming, do, 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 do. Yeah, like, that's what I want to hear. That's what I want to hear. I mean, will this fix the iPad kid generation? I don't think so, sadly. It might actually make it worse since it has an app. But then again, there's actual products. So maybe parents just buy the products instead of the app. The app is free, by the way. You can get it on your mobile device, but you can also download it on your Switch. So if you have a Switch or Switch 2, do it. Uh, it's probably better on a tablet though because of the bigger screen. But then again, it's iPad Kid Gen, so not the best thing in the world. And overall, I mean, it's not really for me because I'm not in that age range, thankfully. But yeah, that's that. I do actually really like it. Like, this is something I really thought was interesting when it first came out. I think this is actually something Nintendo should have done an extremely long time ago. Let me just say that. I really do think they should have done this sooner. So, that is kind of all the news. But there is some other more silent news. This may not apply to as many people. But I don't know if y'all have heard of Subnautica and Subnautica Below Zero. I had them on the PS4 back when I was in that era. That was horrible. Just kidding. Yes, I did used to have a PS4. I don't have it now because it broke. Well, actually, anyway, and I love those games. And they were out on the Switch, and they ran horribly, horrible frame rate, horrible graphics. But good, I mean, good graphics considering what the Switch could do. But finally, after I was like, why haven't they done this? There is a Switch 2 edition. Now, I know my audio listeners can't see this, but video listeners, I am now showing gameplay of Subnautica Switch 2 edition. So it runs at 1440p or 2K at up to 60 FPS. We'll talk about that later. And audio listeners, I highly encourage you to either stop and go to the video version or watch this portion again later. This is a huge improvement, let me tell you. It looks so close to the PS5 level. It's better than PS4. I mean, it has ray tracing, I think, at least because the lighting looks so good. Like, metallic things actually look metallic now. the draw distance is so much better. That's the first thing I noticed. The draw distance of items loading in is so much better. Everything's so much detailed. There's so much less pixelation. That was one of the things with Subnautica on Switch 1. There is still a good bit, but then again, that's also just something with the game in general, because even on the PS5 version, there's a lot of pixelated assets in the game, which is annoying. But my I love this update. But my only complaint with it is it does the 60 FPS is definitely not all the time. It's an unlocked FPS and it's capped at 60, but it really should be capped at 45. I say most of the time it runs at about 45, which is still better than Switch 1. Now, I actually will say, as I have played it more, it definitely does run at 60 more than I thought. One thing I noticed, if you're looking up or if you're above water, it runs at 60 most of the time, which is weird because it's like something in the game's code tells it to run at full 60 when you're above water. Either way, it looks so good. And while we don't get those full 60s every time, it is so much better than the Switch one. And I must say, I'm putting this on my examples of the Switch 2's power list when it comes to games. Now, video listeners, what you are seeing now here is Subnautica 1 gameplay. I will say I do feel like Subnautica 1 or just Subnautica, because Subnautica 2 is not Below Zero, runs better than Below Zero. Like, I think you would get more 60 FPS, and I think it might look slightly better when it comes to certain things, but I think they both look equally as good. Now, I'm actually got back into playing Below Zero. Honestly, unpopular opinion, Below Zero is my favorite. So yeah, this is Subnautica 1 gameplay. You can see it looks quite good. I can kind of do it here. So I'm going to go above water here. I want you to see what it looks like. So as you can see right here, look at this. Audio listeners, just look at it somehow. It is running at 60 FPS with amazing graphics up here. So what I want to know is how come it's not when you're going down water? It's still running okay, but not quite at that 60 FPS. So yeah. And talking more about Subnautica Below Zero, what you are seeing now is some Subnautica Below Zero gameplay. This is what I've been playing lately. I feel like it doesn't hit 60 as much as it does in the first game, but the graphics are still so beautiful, and you still do get better frame rates. Overall, I am so glad. Now, one thing, it is not just an update you have to download the Switch 2 edition. It is free. You have to go in the eShop. I did not know that because at first I thought it was just an update. I was like, it does not look better. No, you have to download it. But once I did that, it does look so good. And like I said here, you're seeing Below Zero. Let me actually kind of speed it up so you can see some underwater. So this is underwater, and especially looking at these fish, these jellyfish things or whatever they're called, look at the lighting. Look how natural the lighting looks. This just looks so much better. Honestly, I think the lighting looks better than the PS5 version. And just as you're watching this, you can just see how good the graphics are, how less pixelated. Now, I will say one thing, it probably won't do it justice since this podcast is going to be very much compressed, because OBS compresses it and then YouTube or whatever platform you're watching it on compresses it. Speaking of that, Apple Podcasts now supports video podcasts. So I kind of need to do that. Although the only problem is I use RSS to bulk publish these audio podcasts, so I'd probably actually have to just use Apple Podcast Connects individually, which is another step to the progress, but who knows, I actually may do that for this episode. Then again, that's in iOS 26.4, which is still in beta, but again, just looking at these graphics, so beautiful. And I've actually gone really into this game. Unpopular opinion, I like Below Zero better just because it's more guided. I haven't beat either, but I have. The main reason is that on Subnautica, I get lost so much. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. There's barely any direction. With Subnautica Below Zero, the story is like really good. Like I love the story with Alan and the weird lady that's mean, but there's so much more direction and it still has that. My main thing is that it's very shallow and tight spaces and I don't like the sea truck. There's always Subnautica 2, which I'm not going to even get into that situation. But I do actually have more hope that it will be on Switch 2. I genuinely hope and pray it will be on Switch 2 because, y'all, I want to play that game so bad. I mean, if it's not on Switch 2, I don't know if I'd go as far to, like, buy a PS5 just for that. Honestly, eventually I might get another console, but number one, I can't afford it, and number two, I really don't have any need because at least at this point, there's no games that I'm like, oh man, I really want to play that. That is not on or is coming to Switch 2 or Switch. So, yeah, and even some of the bigger games now with Switch 2. So, honestly, for me, that never was a, a problem or anything like that. So yeah, that is the new additions, and I know that's kind of irrelevant. They came so like you would not know about them because they were not talked about at all. Like there's no news or anything, but I'm really in love with them. Also, they updated the icons, which I really do like that. So yeah, that is all of our news for today. But the last thing I want to talk about is what is Nintendo thinking right now? What are they doing? Are they out of their minds? So, like I said, the rumor and leaks were that we were going to be getting a big general direct with the 3D Mario that we need, as I've probably said every podcast episode this week. And Wednesday morning came and no announcement. Thursday morning came, no announcement, and now it's Saturday, recording this on Friday, nothing. And honestly, I wasn't too worried, and honestly, I've been trying to be really positive about Nintendo, even though we are in a drought kind of right now. But honestly, y'all, today, I just gotta come out. Like, I'm genuinely starting to get concerned about Nintendo. Like, I'm genuinely starting to get afraid. I'm genuinely upset. Because that partner showcase was not good. And we need a big General Direct. We need a new 3D Mario. This is not just something that'd be nice to have. Nintendo absolutely has to do this if they want to. If they want to, I don't want to say survive because they're gonna survive at right now, but they just have to do this. Their fan base is mad. Their fan base doesn't know what to do. And honestly, I gotta complain. This the 2025 and this year have not felt like a launch year for a console. Like, what is Nintendo doing? I don't know what they are doing. We have to have this direct. And honestly, I'm at this point right now where I'm like, there's nothing coming out. We just have a few minor games, and they're all scoring low, and Nintendo's barely telling us anything. I just don't know, like, what in the world? I don't know what's happening, honestly. And while we have got big things, something has just felt off. Like, we have not had that energy. We have not had that push by Nintendo. I feel like, I mean, I know Reggie's gone, but genuinely, something needs to change. Something is horrible right now. Like, I know there's still rumor about March, but the direct should have been in February. And honestly, I don't think it will happen in March. And the problem is we need this right now. Because investors, fans, and just normal people are not impressed by Nintendo right now. They're losing hope. I'm losing hope in Nintendo. Am I going to go out and buy Xbox? No. Sorry if I just blew your ears out, but no, I ain't buying Xbox. But so this is just not okay. I'm genuinely concerned because there is no big game for this year. This year will mark 9 years without a new 3D Mario. There's not really a big system seller for the Switch 2. There's Bonanza, but I know there's people like me that enjoyed that game but doesn't really connect with them like Mario does. And it's just. And yes, I think some of this energy that, or just some of the negativity towards all this has just been thrown off by people who have over exaggerated anything. But honestly, y'all, I've just had to come to terms that something is not right. Something Nintendo is genuinely messing up right now. Like they need to have a direct. Like that's I don't know what else to say, y'all. I don't know what to think right now. Like where is everything? We're missing things. We're missing a 3D Mario and y'all, here's the deal. Here's the deal. Just imagining and thinking about a Nintendo Direct or whatever, just having this big general direct where we get a 3D Mario and we get release dates and all this information, and the games would be so good, and everyone's so excited, and it's just this big thing, and I'm so amazed. But I cannot find myself to think that's logical. I sit here thinking that's not Nintendo. That's not what they do. We don't get that. We don't get big, good general directs. And I've had this almost attitude that, you know what? Why am I upset about that? Because that's just not that's not what Nintendo does. Why do I think they're gonna do that? And I feel like I've had that mindset, and I just had the realization, what am I thinking? What am I thinking? Of course I should be expecting that. This is not something we should just be hopeful for. This is something we should expect out of Nintendo. Having this big Nintendo Direct and everyone, this is something we should expect, okay? What is genuinely wrong with Nintendo? Honestly, when I think about having this big Nintendo Direct with all that stuff, it feels like a dream. Like, I feel like that physically could never happen in real life. But the problem is that it should. That is what should just be the prime standard for Nintendo. But it's not, and something is genuinely wrong. And something is genuinely not right, and I cannot name it. I don't know what it is, but something is genuinely wrong. And honestly, it has definitely kind of made me lose hope in Nintendo. Like, what are they doing? Sorry about that. Screaming, but yeah. So yeah, y'all, please leave your opinion and comments about that because I'm not gonna just start being this negative person towards Nintendo, but I honestly have to say there gets a point where you can stop just being like, well, maybe it's only this one time. I'm sure they're okay, or well, okay, that wasn't good, but they're still making good stuff. I guess some point where you have to just be for real and be like, okay, that is not good. Something is wrong. What is the deal right now? You know? And I feel like that's kind of where I'm at this point with Nintendo. So, anyways, y'all, please let me know what you think about that in the comments down below. Thank y'all for watching this week's episode of BitCast, and I will see y'all in the next one.